everyone, Josh Jones here, your Michigan criminal defense attorney, and today we're going to be talking about civil infractions, specifically what happens when those civil infractions become defaulted on. I suppose the most important thing to start out with is how does a traffic ticket or a civil infraction become defaulted in the first place? It's important to note that the time frame that's on the traffic ticket or identified on the infraction that you receive is that you make sure that you do something within that time frame with the ticket, meaning you either have to pay the ticket or you have to contact the court and require them or ask them to set up a hearing of some sort. Now, if you've seen my previous video regarding the civil infraction procedure, you'll know what type of hearing that you want to be doing once you contact the court. However, the important thing is to actually contact the court and set up that hearing within that time frame. The important thing to then note is if you do set up a hearing, to go and attend that hearing in some fashion, either by your own representation or by someone like myself representing the matter for you. The lack of attending that hearing that you set up will also create a default. So if we kind of back up a little bit and we look at it, if the individual does not pay within the time frame, nor do they set up a hearing within that time frame, the court will then send out a default notice showing that the individual has defaulted or failed to act on the ticket. The Secretary of State will receive a record of that default, and then after that they will then look to suspend and take away the driving privileges of the individual until they have obtained a clearance from the court, meaning they have cleared up or taken care of the default through the court. Before we get into taking care of or how we go ahead and clear that default, I want to stress the importance that the default does not matter if the default is a moving or a non-moving violation. Again, if you've seen the prior video on civil infraction procedure, you'll have noted that I discussed the two types of civil infractions that can be issued. When we're dealing with a default, does not matter if the ticket that we're discussing or dealing with is a non-moving infraction. Even if you were to have paid the ticket and have it not go on your driving record, the default still would be abstracted over and have influence to your driving record. So it's important to take very good consideration of any ticket that you get, because the default will have a negative impact on your ability to drive. That negative ability can also lead to other repercussions or consequences if you were found driving when you're not supposed to be, or during the term of suspension because of the default, which would then be a driving on suspended license. The next important thing to discuss then is, what do you do to take care of the default? The easiest way, at least the cleanest way, is to take care of it by paying the default and the penalties and the fees associated with the default. That will take care of it immediately, and you'll be able to handle your driver's license in a legal fashion at that point. The other longer process is to set aside the default and then have a hearing on the matter, and going from there you can still attempt to fight the underlying allegations or even possibly negotiate the ticket as well. But you have to get over the hump of setting it aside before you can do either of those two things. Also to note that if you're looking to try to set the default aside, you're going to need to post some sort of monetary bond with the court in cash in order to preserve your ability to fight the default itself. It's similar to a process that you would find when you're moving from a informal to a formal hearing. The court will generally require some sort of monetary bond that will be held by the court in order for you to continue with the proceedings on that particular matter. But those are the two primary ways to, again, resolve the default. It's important to, again, take away from that instance that simply because you're in a default does not mean that you're always stuck in the corner of just simply paying for it. There is another avenue that you can use that attempts to redress the situation completely. However, I always strive to tell you that you should really have an attorney present and handling the matter if you're looking to try to set the default aside. Of course, if you're simply just paying the ticket, the attorney's not going to be able to do anything for you. But if you're looking down that second avenue, I would highly recommend reaching out to someone like myself or another individual handling traffic matters, and they'll be able to assist you in that process and again handling the matter exclusively for you. Hopefully you learned a little bit today about defaults and civil infractions. Until next time, you guys take care. Bye-bye now.
Do you want more hot and sexy content of your man, Josh Jones? Then you go over to auburnhillscriminallawyer.com, click on those links, and you lawyer up with me, Josh Jones.